This is the acoustic guitar part, the lead acoustic guitar part for Hosanna by Baloche. The song is in the key of G. It's 4/4, 114 beats per minute. So the biggest advice on this song, because the acoustic guitar is going to be playing fast strums, is just to relax, is to make sure that your left hand, especially your right hand, are relaxed, that you're not getting tense in your shoulders, or trying to just force your way through the strums. You got to have a nice relaxed hand, and don't worry about hitting all the strings on your strumming hand when you're these fast strums. Just the acoustic guitar is definitely audible, and especially in the beginning, you're providing a muted sound. That's because there's not as much going on. But especially when it gets louder in the choruses, the acoustic guitar is more of a filler sound, and so you don't need to hit all the strings if a full strum on every chord. Just the main thing is to keep the rhythm and to really lock in on beat one of every measure, because it goes by very quick. It's 114. So just we'll step through through each section and some of the chords, and then we'll do a playthrough. So G5 in the intro and the verse, it's really, if you just are the standard G, 34th string on the E and the B string, 3rd fret, and second finger on the 3rd fret, low E string, first finger on the 2nd fret, B string. That's just your standard G. And a G5, all you're going to do is, you don't need to play on the A string. You can roll your second finger over and mute that A string, and that's going to basically mean that you're not going to play the B note on the A string, which is the 3rd. So the G5 is basically, you're taking out the 3rd of the chord, which in this case is a B, and it just sounds like this. So a full G with not the fifth G5, but a full G is this, and a G5 is very, very similar, because there's only one B in the G chord when it's played this way, but it's subtle difference. But it particularly in the song, the G5 is it's supposed to be a kind of a filler, and not more of a blendy chord. So the beginning is going to be a muted, syncopated rhythm. So it's not very loud. It's not a full strum loud, but it's definitely clearly heard, and it's providing a percussive sound. And so you don't want to have a light. It's got to be a nice hard strum, but with the mute kind of will take the volume off. So all the other musicians need to hear you, and the singers too. When you get to that next C2, so praise is rising, eyes are turning to you, it's just a standard C2. And you're playing muted, but you're going to let that first strum of the C2 ring out a little bit more, and then back to the muted sound. So it's going to sound like this. When we get to the D add 4, it's basically a C that is slid up 2 frets. You're not going to play the low E string, and you're not going to play the high E string. You're just going to play the middle 4 strings. It's kind of a funny sounding chord, but it sounds right in the context of the song. And you're still muted. Back to a C. G5. Okay. And then at the very end of that verse, you're gonna, on a D, you're gonna build up into the chorus, and you'll hear that on the playthrough. All right, the chorus, it's going from a G sustained to a G. So a standard G sustained is the most basic G that you can play. Has your pinky, 3rd fret, high E string, your 3rd finger, 3rd fret, low E string, 2nd finger, A string, 2nd fret, and then your 1st finger, so that's a G. And then the sustain, which is the C note, you play on the B string, first fret. So, and to play the G, you just take off that 1st finger. Now, the way they kind of do it is, instead of actually playing the B, you know how we were for the G5, we were kind of muting that B with your top finger here. We can play it that way too here. So the G sustained, you're gonna play the low E, but mute the A, and then for the G, just take off that 1st finger again. It's not, if you want to play like the full G with the 2nd finger on the B of the A string, but you can also, it's a little subtle difference, but and maybe not super noticeable in the with the whole team playing, but it may just be easier play one way versus the other. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll still put my finger there on the B of the A string, because that's what I'm used to doing, but I'll just roll my hand over a little bit so I mute that A string, and that way I'm not doing a different fingering, I'm just kind of shifting my finger around a little bit. Okay, so that's G sustained, and then all the other chords are normal chords. So the chorus is... back to that G5. Now you notice in all these chords, your pinky is staying on the 3rd fret of the high E string during the chorus. Okay, you go back to verse 2, it's muted again, play it just like the first verse. Go back to the chorus, instrumental, they're all louder strumming, faster strumming. At the first, towards the end of the instrumental, you're going to stop playing and then pick up halfway through the "'Cause when I see you." Because when I see you, we find strength to face the day. In your presence, all our fears are washed away. So the first one of those, after the instrumental, you don't play. Second one, come back in muted. Okay, and then are washed away. There's 2 measures of D building up into the chorus. So the next chorus is just a normal chorus, nice and loud, fast strumming. The last chorus, you hit the first G sustain, and then come back in on the E minor 7th. So you basically pause for the rest of the G sustain and the rest of the G. And at the end, you're just alternating between G sustain and G, and then the last chord, just a single strum and let it ring. So again, the chords are not too hard. 114 is not super fast, but your right hand is moving. Feel like it's moving very fast. So you're going to want to lock in on beat 1, and the vocal, the syllable for the vocals that are coming in on beat 1, and really try to relax. You could feel a real difference when you're playing the song real tense and kind of tight, than when you're just kind of relaxed, having fun, worshiping God, and not worrying so much about hitting or playing all the strings and doing full strums, but just a relaxed hand. Keep your hand relaxed, and then it won't seem as fast because you're not trying to force it to happen. So we'll do a playthrough, and hopefully that helps.
find strength to face the day. And in your presence, all our fears are washed away. 'Cause when